Hello and welcome to Real Estate Audio Quick Tips. My name's Lee Woodward. Joining me is Mr. Mark McGill from Amber Worsham Property, the sales architect. Mark, welcome aboard.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Lee.
I have a difficult topic for you today, as many of our listeners have a perception of the real estate industry and they ask many questions. But the perception out there is agents will work for low rates, cheap marketing, and at the end of the day, it leaves more profit in the pocket of the consumer. And if we look at the Office of Fair Trading complaints, you couldn't be further from the truth, as there is no shortcuts to a great agent. Mark, with this topic very visible in the media and many people trying to make a decision, what do we need to know about the behind-the-scenes selection of an agent and where do they bring in their value?
I think it's one of my pet peeves as well, actually, Lee. I've gone around as a consumer to open homes and I've bought and sold property myself. Quite commonly, we get asked in the open homes, it's one of the first questions buyers ask is, what can I get it for? And I've thrown it at agents myself and I'm surprised at the price that they come back with, and it's usually not the list price. Most people know that, okay, for example, a property is priced at $499 and the agent might have told them $499, the seller might take $480 and the agent might actually say, oh look, I reckon they'll take $480. So naturally the buyer will probably be baited and go, well, if they'll take $480, I might offer $470.
And what's really happened there is completely wrong and technically known as embezzlement, because the agent doesn't own the property, the owner does, and having an agent who stands their ground is probably where the first value is.
Absolutely. I mean, quite often on the flip side, I've been secret shopped many a time and I've had buyers ask me that question regularly. My first response is normally, I understand why you're asking that, but look, we believe the list price is fair. However, if you're willing to make an offer, I'm happy to present it. But even in that whole process, we always try and extract at least one or two increases from the buyer prior to seeing the seller.
Very good. So in this whole thing that the agents offered me a cheaper rate or free marketing, it all looks good on the surface. But behind the scenes, how do you really know how to rate an agent?
I think obviously just watching their skills at open homes, it's a really good way to test it, and just ask them what they can get the property for. If they tell you a figure that's below the list price, then what are they going to do when they're selling your property?
What's a term called recovery rate in the industry?
Okay, so recovery rate is what agents will normally use to basically assess the increase in profit from the first offer to the eventual sale price. So say, for example, if we went back to this property, it was listed at $499 and the first offer did come in at $470. Now, obviously, we would try and defend the seller's list price and try and increase the offer. So say, for example, we got it up to $485 as the first increase. The seller might agree to a countersign at $495 and then we might get the buyer up to $490. In that instance, the recovery rate would be $20,000. So the recovery rate is the dollar figure above the first offer.
Excellent information. It's a good tip today because there is no shortcuts to a great agent, but you want someone who will go the test of time. One thing we know about low rates is they end up in low effort jobs. You're on the market for a couple of weeks and they need to drastically reduce you because they haven't budgeted for you to be there that long. And I think every owner of every property deserves a fair chance at the market, and that's with a full fee, full service agent, of which you are. Mark McGill, thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much, Lee.